Hey friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Alex and I'm so happy you're here. So today's video, I'm so excited. I feel like I say that about every video, but this one, it's a good one. We're gonna be talking all about Elin Hilderbrand, and in particular, all of her summer books that I've read. So for those who don't know, Elin Hilderbrand is an author. She lives on Nantucket, which is a small island off of the coast of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And she has for years been writing essentially one book every summer, and it always comes out at the beginning of the summer. And in the past 6 years, she's also been writing a winter book. So what I'm gonna do today is walk you all through the summer books, her summer books, the ones that I've read. I've read quite a few, but there are certainly some that I haven't read. And how I'm gonna organize this video is I'm gonna start with the books that I rated the lowest on my GOODREADS, all the way to the ones that I rated the highest. So I do keep track of all of my reading on GOODREADS, so be sure to check me out on GOODREADS if you'd like to follow along in kind of what I've been reading in my recommendations. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna be starting with books that I gave 3 stars to, and there are 2 of those. The first one is Beautiful Day. Unsure which year that this came out of. I didn't write those things down, but I did read it in 2 days, but I only gave the book 3 stars. And honestly, I've been looking at all these books because I have read them over the years. Like, I think I read my first Elin book 2 or 3 summers ago. So this one I think I read 2 years ago, and I gave it 3 stars. It is a classic beach read in the sense that it is 2 families that come together on Nantucket for a wedding. So all of Elin's books are set on Nantucket for the most part. The winter ones I'll talk about in the winter. I have a video planned for that. But for her summer ones, they are predominantly set in Nantucket. And the families of the books, they're normally like, you know, like a family type drama. There's a little bit of romance, a little bit of drama. It's just the best beach read you could imagine. So this Beautiful Day book is about 2 families and there's a wedding and there's some drama around it, even though things seem perfect. I didn't love this one. I honestly don't remember much about this book, which kind of probably why I gave it 3 stars, because I didn't think it was very memorable. But yeah, that is Beautiful Day. So the next book that I gave a 3-star review to, I read in 4 days, and that is Here's to Us. And I actually do remember this book and why I didn't love it. So this book is all about this famous chef in New York, and over the years he's had 3 wives, and he has a very complicated life, and essentially he dies. Spoiler alert, you actually learn that at the very beginning. And it's about his 3 ex-wives coming together to decide what happens to his beach house on Nantucket. So it's told from the perspective of like his different wives, and I think his daughter, if I remember correctly. This one I read a while ago again, and I don't know, it was very much like meh, like not my favorite Elin read. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Okay, up next we have a book that I gave 4 stars to, and I actually really remembered this book and I really enjoyed it, so I don't really remember why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 stars. So this book did take me 2 weeks to read. Unsure, maybe I just like put it down and then picked it up later. That happens to me sometimes. But anyway, this book, The Identicals, is about 2 identical sisters that live drastically different lives. And it's about kind of them coming together one summer after they've been apart for a long time. So the one sister who has a daughter kind of has her life very put together and is a perfectionist, and she lives on Nantucket. And then the rebellious twin lives on Martha's Vineyard, which is the neighboring, slightly larger island. And yeah, it's about how they kind of come together as a family and how they deal with the differences that they've had over the years. I really did enjoy this one. Really good, like solid, like family read in the sense that it involves, you know, family dynamics. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. Again, I'm sure why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5, because I remember really enjoying it. So yeah. Okay, up next are all my 5-star books. So I'm very generous when it comes to books. I feel like if you look at like my average rating on GOODREADS, it's like fairly high, because I'm the kind of person that I generally really enjoy books, and when I'm really not enjoying a book, I just put it down and I don't keep on reading it. Like if it's not bringing me joy and I'm not enjoying myself, I normally give it to page 50, and if by page 50 I'm not like super hooked, I just kind of quit. But anyway, these are all my 5-star Elin books, the ones that I highly, highly, highly recommend and I've really enjoyed over the years. So the first one is called The Rumor. Again, 5 stars, and I read this in 4 days. And this book, I don't know, there's something about it that I just really love. It's about these 2 friends who are older women, and they're both married, and it's essentially about like how their lives look perfect from the outside, but are actually falling apart on the inside. And it's all about like kind of gossip and the whole town kind of talking about what these two women are doing and what they're up to. And I don't know, I just really like this one. There's like an affair in it, which, yeah, to me, it's interesting. I like don't condone affairs, but I don't know, affairs in books I think are interesting. And yeah, this one I really, really enjoyed and I highly recommend it. Definitely very like gossipy, drama-y. But yeah, always set on beautiful Nantucket in the summer, which there's something about that. All right, up next is The Matchmaker. I loved this one. I feel like I read this one fairly recently. Like with maybe, I don't know, it feels like I read it recently, but anyway, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars and I read it in 5 days. And it essentially just tells the story of this woman who has lived on Nantucket her entire life. She works at the Chamber of Commerce and she's like a figure of Nantucket. And she has this skill or this like, this is the only actually Ellen book that has like a slightly magical element, I would say. And essentially she, this woman who's the main character of the book, she has this like trick or like this skill where she can tell if 2 people are meant to be together because she gets like this fuzzy pink kind of vision in her eyes. And she's, you know, hooked up a lot of people over the years. And yeah, it's about how like kind of she finds love at the very end. And it's a great heartwarming, I feel like I cried during this one book. I really, really liked it a lot. Okay, my next 5-star book that I read in 3 days is Summer of '69. So this is Ellen's last summer book. This one came out last summer, and now that I like know about Ellen and I love her, like I always buy like the book as they come out. So this one I bought and I read immediately. And this book is actually about the 60s, obviously the summer of '69 back on Nantucket. And it's really cool because it's like old schooly and like kind of how people lived back then without like the internet and stuff. Like you were truly stuck on this island, you know, like back then you were in Nantucket for the summer and you better find a way to entertain yourself because there's not, you know, any kind of internet, cell phones. Like it's very cool. It's a really cool perspective. And as someone who's grown up in the digital age, I always enjoy reading books that, you know, are pre-digital age books. Okay, and last but not least is this one, The Perfect Couple. And I gave this 5 stars and I read it in 4 days. And this is the very first Ellen book I read. I remember, I don't know about where you guys live, but where I live, we've got Amazon bookstores. And there's the one Amazon bookstore in a mall that I like to go to. And I remember walking around and seeing this book and being like, oh, that kind of looks cool. So I picked it up, not realizing that it had come out like that very day or the day before. And I sat down and I powered through it in 4 days. And I was like, who is this Ellen woman? Like, I've never heard of her before. And I looked her up and learned all about her books. So what I've been doing ever since is essentially I always pick up her newest book when it comes out and I read it. And I'm moving back in time and essentially picking up all the books that she's come out with in reverse order. So I'm totally caught up on all her winter books, but the summer books, there's a few that are left. So yeah, all of these are definitely the more like recent Ellen books. I think I'm back to 2012 or 2013. I'm not really sure. And I wanted to highlight that I'm also in the middle of reading another Ellen book right now, and it's called The Island. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm about like third or a quarter of the way there, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a great book. I know this is gonna be a favorite of mine, just the way it's gone so far. I'm really into it. So yeah, that's a recap of kind of all of my favorite Elin Hilderbrand books and what I think of them. And yeah, I mean, look, Ellen, she is the queen of the summer beach read. So I hope that you have some time this summer, maybe if you're looking for some light reading, to pick one of these books up, and definitely let me know what you think. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, friend.